What's up everyone, it's Ben MG Scully knocking out a new video today, and the last few videos I've done I've been talking about fighters, internet personalities, and what's coming forward with all these incredible athletes. And I feel like it'd be good to talk about myself and my story with combat sports. Now, how did I get into boxing and MMA and kickboxing? So it all starts back when I was about 12 years old. I had trouble with a bully. They were saying some very horrible things, and I would try and resolve the problem the way people are told, go to a teacher. And fortunately, I never solved the problem. Things got worse and worse. Bully tried to start a fight with me. I defended myself a couple times. And after that, because I got a lot of notoriety from winning a fight that I didn't get in trouble for, I thought, what if someone that poses more of a threat starts on me? So I thought I want to learn to defend myself, and I started looking around, searching for different kind of combat sports gyms. So started with boxing gyms, then kickboxing gyms. Tried to find like MMA gyms. I didn't know what MMA was back then. I just thought it was cage fighting, but boxing gyms especially because they're always easier to find. And I couldn't find a gym, but one of my friends said that they go to a gym near where I lived, but that went under the radar for a while, and it came to about, I think I was 14, no, I was about 15 years old, and I watched what was probably a big inspiration for me was the KSI versus Joe Weller white collar boxing event. And I watched KSI versus Joe Weller, and I found out that KSI had got into that incredible shape in just like 4 months, and won a fight, and I looked pretty good doing it, and convincingly won, and obviously won by stoppage. So I thought, what could I do in that amount of time, or more, or less? If I if he can do that, if all it takes is hard work, what can I do? And I remembered a while ago that one of my friends, shout out Biran, he said that he went to a boxing gym near where I lived. So I said to him, where's that boxing gym you mentioned? And he told me where it was, and I started going. So pretty soon after going to this boxing gym, I start finding out what my natural skill is, because most people when they start boxing, there is an attribute that they have naturally. Find out that I got some natural speed and some natural footwork. I have pretty good balance, and I start doing some sparring. And me not being the biggest kid in the world, especially back then, I struggle to find people in my weight class in that gym, and I start getting put in with people much bigger than me, and some of them were very new to boxing, don't understand that when you do sparring, it's a learning experience, it's not a fight, and you're only meant to go about 60% power, so if 100% was as hard as you could hit, 60% is what you should be hitting people with. But when you haven't done much sparring before, it is very hard to control your power and how much power you put into your shots. So a lot of people, as soon as they get hit once, they see red and go for it. And I'm half their size, and as soon as I land a punch, a little punch, of course, not only was I not very powerful, but I wasn't very big at all anyway. But as soon as I would hit them with something or swing at them, they would see red and start throwing massive shots at someone half their size. Even if they was throwing like half power, like 50%, I'm 50% of their size. So that's going to feel like someone my size hitting me full force. But not only that, but they're twice my size anyway. So it's feeling like I got two people my size beating me up. And I'm not a fighter by nature. The only reason I won those fights in school was because I never actually got hit. Because the person who was picking on me would try something, not not do it correctly, so you try and grab me or try and throw a punch, wouldn't hit me, I would obviously see red, throw back, catch them, I would hit them a few times and then someone would come and stop it. That would be it basically. I had never been hit in the face before. Not constantly anyway. I'd never had a combo thrown at me. Because when I would do kickboxing, it was very like points. It was based around points. So you would hit them. If you hit them in the body, 1 point. You stop, resume. So you go stop as soon as a punch lands or kick lands. You separate, go again. So I was used to getting hit, but I weren't used to getting pummeled, because that never happened in kickboxing most of the time. And most people in there were very experienced, and if I wasn't doing too good, they let me take a second, or they wouldn't go at it. But this is the first time I've ever felt like I was getting beat up, and I didn't like the introduction to sparring, and I actually stopped boxing because of it, because I didn't enjoy it at all. And a few months later, one of my friends, because the KSI Logan Paul fight had recently happened, and obviously it was a good fight. Everyone's eyes were opened to how novices can actually have a good fight, and one of my friends said to me about how much he weighed. Shout out Niall Rudge. Most people know, if anybody knows me, they're gonna know where this is going. I'll link his channel in the comments as well, to go check out his videos as well. And he said to me about how much he weighed, and it wasn't that far off compared to everybody else. He wasn't that far off what I was at the time, and we were nearly the same height. So I was gonna say to him, oh, we should have a spar. And when I said spar, he said boxing match, because we both said we should have a spar boxing match. I was like, boxing match? And then I started thinking, oh, that's a pretty good idea actually. And the idea of us training in the gym, or in our own separate ways, for a few months. This was mid-September 2018, and we were thinking December this year. Give it about 2 months, 3 months, train, get good, hopefully, and spar, and between us, and then we started telling people about it, about the plans. We started training, and within a few days, people are like, oh, you should record it. And Niall has a YouTube channel, so he was like, actually, yeah, we should do that, and I said that'd be great. And then everyone was saying, oh, you should have people in the gym watching, make it look like an actual match with head guards on and that. And then we started making videos about it and posting on our stories about it, promoting the fight, saying it's going to be on this day, on the 19th of December, 2018, it's going to be at this place, and hype really starts building. We're 2 months away from the fight at this point, and people are coming up to us asking us to have face-offs in the boys' changing rooms after PE lessons. And there's actually some videos of us having face-offs on YouTube now as well, because some people were uploading them to YouTube, and they got a couple hundred views. And I really realised, because the only scope I'd had for how many people were interested were people coming up to me in school, which was a few. But then when a face-off got uploaded to YouTube and it got 300 views, I thought, geez, a lot of people are interested in this fight. And I even a year after we did fight, I had people coming up to me saying, oh, are you that kid in that boxing video? It was incredible how many people actually, especially in our school, which is a very big school, actually knew about this fight. And obviously hype starts building. We're both training. It comes to about end of November, so about 2 weeks away from the fight. I say to the coach, can we do this on this day, on the 19th of December? And the coach says, oh, we can't do it because this and that. She says we can't do it, but there's a reason why, and we can actually we can solve it. So I say, I say to Niall, we can't do this on the 19th of December. Just 100% we can't do that because of the gym. But we can do it, just not on that day. Once we solve our little issue that the gym said about, we can do it. So we pushed back the fight to January, which meant that we had to train over Christmas when there was no gyms open. And in all fairness, Niall trained very hard over Christmas. He did the most he could, and I didn't. I was very confident that I was going to win because I had those couple of months of training before. I had about 2-3 months of previous training before I started training for this fight. Niall didn't. He'd only watched boxing. He knew a lot about boxing, but he'd never trained in a gym, whereas I had. So I was very confident that I was going to win. So I didn't train over Christmas. Also, I got Red Dead Redemption 2 given to me for Christmas, and I spent 2 weeks over Christmas playing that and not doing anything else. So, not to say it's Rockstar Games' fault. The games are just too good, alright? But, means I didn't train over Christmas, and he did. So the difference in skill, me being up here and Niall being here, that skill, he was catching up. And by the time of the fight came round, 11th of January was the day, we go to the gym, everything's alright, we had 3 face-offs that day, everyone's excited for it. And we step in the gym, put the head guards on, put the gloves on. I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure he is too. And my friend Biran, who recorded, done an awful job of recording. Biran, you're sacked, by the way, but he got the camera out. He had Niall's phone because it was going to be on his YouTube channel. The coach said, "We ready to record?" And as soon as he said, "Are we ready?" the nerves, my heart rate started pumping. Really, my heart started going. And the nerves really kicked in. My muscles all tensed up. I started getting really stiff. If you look at the difference in the beginning of the video, I'll actually link that video in the description or in the comments, one or the other. At the very start of the video, you can see Niall is leaning on the corner like relaxing while the coach is talking to us, and my arms are glued to my side. And he says, "Be ready." We touch gloves in the ring. He just walks back, puts his arms on the corner, and I turn around from him, look towards my corner, go, give myself a little shake, turn round, box, and someone rings the bell, and we step in the ring. I'm very nervous and also a little not scared of Niall, but scared of embarrassing myself. So I'm thinking, don't go throwing loads of punches and missing and making yourself look bad. Wait for him to throw and try and hit him while he's open. And what I didn't expect was Niall to not only be as fast as he was, but also have as good reflexes as he did. He was very jittery. He had very good head movement, especially then. For someone who had like 3-4 months of training, his head movement looked like someone who'd had over a year training. And his head movement now is very good as well. But he didn't have as many basic skills as I did. Like, he had the power. He didn't have the speed or the technique that I did. But he had some of the more advanced skills that I'm guessing he got from watching boxing for so many years. Like the head movement and stuff like that. And his, the way he circles around the ring, stuff like that. I didn't have those skills, because those are skills you normally develop over a while. But because I'm sure from watching boxing, he developed those, he got those skills from seeing them, not from necessarily learning them. And round one's going on, not much has happened. He feints a few times, I cover up, he lands a jab to the body, we go back to the middle of the ring. He feints a little bit, I jump back, kind of catch him, just about catch him with a left hand, because I'm left-handed. But because he's moving his head away, it doesn't really land clean, like proper. It does hit him, but it doesn't have, because he moves his head, so as it hits him, it takes like 90% of the sting out of it. And because he thought that I didn't hit hard, he gives me a big old grin, cheeky bugger. And he lands a shot, like a right hook, and then he hits me with a left hook, Not very, quite slappy shots considering the lack of experience, but once he hits me with it, I cover up and my back hits the ropes. So he throws about 15, 20 punches, desperately trying to land punches on me, and he gets me with about 4 or 5 clean. And at this point, he's trying to unload on me, and I've hit him with one shot. He's hit me with like 5 or 6. So I'm here thinking, oh god, because this happened a few times in sparring when I was put in with people who would win, and I'm thinking, oh, please don't let this be like sparring now. I'm thinking, but I'm very stone faced. I'm keeping a poker face. Not much happens for the rest of the round. He does a couple more feints. I catch him with a good left hand. He does a massive feint, but he jumps around 3 feet forward, and obviously I jump back. And as soon as my left foot hits the ground, I plant my feet and throw a left hand. I jump back, stay still, boom, hit him with the left hand down the pipe. One of my best punches of the fight. Not much happens for the rest. He hits me, I hit him, but he's 100% won that round. Second round starts. Not much happens. We're kind of feinting, walking around a little bit. I start with a jab. I catch him with a couple of jabs here and there. He tries to throw a few shots. I manage to block them pretty well. Then he starts throwing another combo. Catches me a couple of times. Sometimes I'll hit him while he's coming in, but he unloads on me a couple of times. But I noticed after every combination, he seemed like he would take a step back, and he would like drop his hands a bit, and he would like a little bit like breathe and then get back into it, like he had to reset. So I'm thinking, next time he does that, I'm just gonna jump on him. I'm just gonna throw a shot instantly instead of letting him recoup, if that's what he's doing. So he throws about a minute later, he throws another combo, lands a couple punches on me, but I hit him as he's coming in, and I think I hit him in the neck as well. I don't remember doing it in the fight, but he said it happened, and it looks like it does. And apparently it really hurt. So he needed to breathe after, so he definitely had to recoup there. So what I do is right after that combination, I hit him, I go through a jab, and then I throw right to the body after, and that was a good shot as well, because it was the only body shot I threw during the fight, and it landed, and it was one of my best shots. And round 2 ends not long after that, but he's definitely won that round. Well, it was a closer round, but I think he won it pretty convincingly, but just not as convincingly as the first round. I threw a little more that round, threw more jabs, threw more left hands, and I also caught him with a couple of lefts as he came in my range as well. Excuse the hoodie, I just need to stop bothering with my quarantine cut, but yeah, so he's definitely won that second round, and that means now that it's 2-0 to him. So I've lost this fight basically, unless I can stop him. And we've got big old gloves on, 16 ounces, head guard. That ain't gonna happen, I'm thinking. And third round starts. I'm not even thinking about the fact that I've already lost this fight, but I start throwing a little more, start throwing a few more jabs. He starts trying to unload on me again. Not many get through as the previous rounds, and we land a similar amount of actual clean punches, but because of the pressure and the ring control from him and the fact that he's controlling the pace, he won that round as well. He won all 3 rounds, but I was still stood there, and I was happy with how I done at the time. Fight ends. You don't see it on the video, because as soon as the fight ends, you go to see us touch gloves. He spits out his mouth guard, and we go to touch gloves. The video ends. That's where Biran turned the camera off. He shouldn't have, because it's actually quite a nice moment after, because me and him embraced, and we congratulated each other and said, I respect you for getting in here and that kind of stuff. I don't remember it very well. I remember bits of it, but I do remember having an embrace with him after, because it was a lot of because of how confident I was and how quiet he was. There was a lot of pent up aggression, if you get what I mean, going in that fight. So as soon as the fight was over, we gave each other a big old man hug, so I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was a really good fight when I was in there, and I thought it was a lot closer when I was in there than it was looking back at it. But I thought at the time, because a lot of the times he caught me with big shots, I couldn't remember them right after, as time went on, I start remembering them. I start remembering getting caught and whatever. But right at the end of the fight, I remembered him winning the first round, 100%. I couldn't remember much of the second round, and I couldn't remember much of the third, but I did remember jabbing him at the very end of the third. So I'm thinking, this fight could have gone any way. I couldn't remember anything to do with the second. So in my head, I'm thinking, I won the third, he won the first, and I don't know what happened in the second, so we don't know. So he's saying, oh, I think I got you 2-1, and I'm saying, obviously I don't want to say, oh, I think you might have beat me, because I didn't know at the time, so I'm trying to say like, oh, I think maybe I got you. And everyone else outside, when I tried saying to them, oh, I think I won 2-1 maybe, everyone's like, looking at each other like, what does this kid remember? Like, but after that, when the video gets posted, I watch the fight before it gets uploaded. It's sitting at over 1,200 views now. I'll link the fight so you can go watch it as well. But yeah, it was a great experience, and I came out of that fight. Yeah, I lost, but I came out arguably more motivated than I ever have. And I got back in the gym the next week, trained for a bit. Then I was in year 11 in school. I was 16, GCSE started coming round, so I stopped boxing for a bit to prepare for those. But once the GCSEs were done, the day I had my last exam, the day I finished my GCSEs, I went to the gym because it was a Friday, and my gym would go on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that Friday, the day I finished my last exam, I went to the gym, and I actually sparred Niall again on that day, and it was closer. It was pretty close that second spar, because first round, I know for a fact the first round I had him, because I was getting the jab and I was throwing a lot more than I was in our first fight. This isn't recorded, this is just a spar, this is now. Second round, the first minute of the second round I was doing well, but then the second minute he started getting some body shots on me, and because I hadn't trained in a couple of months over the exam period, I started getting a little tired. And then so that round, I don't know who won, it could have gone either way. And then the third round then, in our second spar, I was shattered. He got me pretty good on that third round. He caught me with some good shots, and even rocked me, which he never done in our actual fight, because I was leaving my chin open because of how tired I was. No, it was a good second spar. I thought I was happy with that, because he had trained quite a lot since, even like during the GCSE period. So I'm thinking, hey, I was expecting him to be better than me, but I'm better than I was, which is a good thing. Even though he was way better than he was as well, I'm glad that I was, even though I didn't do much training from the fight. It was around October time, 2019. I just come off a holiday, and because of the lovely food on holiday, I realised that over 10 days I put on 5 pounds, and I've always been one to struggle putting on weight. So I'm thinking, oh, I best keep up with this and continue and not lose this new weight I've got. So and I put on some weight when I train, and I put on some weight when I was training for Niall. I think I put on 6 pounds over the few weeks I was training for it. Even though I weren't happy with that little amount, but it was still some weight. And because I was in year 12, I was in sixth form. I used to commute to a different school to have a lesson, and I found one of my good friends. And because he said, because Niall was in my class with us, he said, didn't you guys have a boxing match? And he was like, yeah, we did, yeah. And he was like, I tell you what, that was great, that was, it was clever, and I wish I could do something like that. And we're like, yeah. And when I went on holiday, I came back heavier, and I'm thinking, I want to fight someone now. And I say I'm open for a fight with someone who wants to do it. And he says, I'll do it if you want. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And this is like mid-October. We decided to do it 11th of December, exactly 11 months after I fought Niall. Train hard, feel fitter than I ever have. Day the fight comes, even though I had organised it all with the gym, they said that it couldn't happen, blah. Even though I had already organised it with the main coach, different coach turned up this time, said it couldn't happen. He said, do it on Friday, because we agreed to do it on a Wednesday. we was like, yeah, okay, we got it, like, because we were all getting in like fight mode, you know. If you're fighting and gonna get hit later on, I was very focused that day, and I'm sure that my opponent was too. Um, and then the fight falls out after that session because my opponent pulls out because he had other things to do on the Friday, unfortunately. But you know, it is how it is. I was very annoyed at the time, but I mean, I thought at least, like, because if I had lost that fight, I would have been 0-2, no wins, 2 losses. It would have been a while before I would have pursued an amateur boxing career. Not career, but before I would have pursued any amateur boxing matches. But I thought, hey, now that this is out of the picture, relax over Christmas, get back in it on January, and get an actual amateur boxing match in like March or April. So that's what I start doing. And now 2020 happened with the pandemic. Obviously that shut down all my plans. But recently I've got back into training, and I even sparred one of my mates, and I done very well considering how long it's been since I've sparred, because I sparred 2 days before I was going to have my second fight, and that was the last time I got hit in the face, before a few weeks ago. So I'm very happy with how my fitness is doing right now, because I've got myself a new goal, which I'll explain in another video, hopefully sometime soon. And I might even do like a video series talking about my goal, but it's been helping my fitness especially, and I'm very happy with what the future can hold. Now Niall's got a new fight hopefully happening by the end of this year now, depending on what happens with COVID. If the gym's open, he's fighting a guy called Harley Joseph. Them two had an actual fight in school when they were about 15, and since then they haven't really been the best of friends. But now they're interested in, considering Niall beat me, now he's interested in having revenge, like, because he lost the actual fight he had with Harley. So he wants to equal the score, and hopefully that fight will happen. They're both willing to do it, but obviously the pandemic pushes back our plans more and more. But hopefully by the end of this year we should see that fight, and I'll be talking about it on here if that happens, and hopefully I can promote it where I can as well. But that's the story of how I got into boxing, and my story of my journey through me learning boxing and training to do it, and obviously having a fight and training for 2 fights. And yeah, I'm excited for my boxing life going forward. Thank you for watching. Ben MG Scully is out.